everyone, welcome back to another episode of Real Talk Atlanta. We are your favorite host. I'm Ashley LeRae.
I'm Tiesha Renee.
Neika W.
And River the Realtor.
I'm like, did y'all forget your name?
Y'all know us though.
Yeah. Happy
back.
Wednesday. We are so excited to be back. Get back into the motion of recording videos for you guys. And this week is super exciting. We're going to be breaking down all the different type of loan options for our home buyers and kind of figuring out what works best for you. Mm-hmm. So, we're going to break down all of your options. We're also going to talk about the differences in the types of loans and the requirements, and also interest rates and down payment, what you can be expecting with the different loans. Yep. And also, before we get started, once we finish talking about the different types of loans, let us know which one you think may work best for you. You can put that in the comments. And then also you can check out one of our previous videos. It'll be somewhere on the screen where we talked about, what was it? The pre-approvals?
The pre-approval process.
Right, how to get approved. So that will be somewhere on the screen as well, so you can click on that.
I love that.
Yeah, and this is more like generalized, right? We're going to talk about the four main topics, but of course there are like different specific loan programs that we'll get to later, but these are just like the overarching four main,
Yeah, these are the four that we use the most. But of course, there's other options, and we can make a whole other video about like the creative financing options as well.
Creative financing.
Yeah, that was a good word.
Sounds good, right? Okay, so let's jump into it. So the first loan that I'm sure everyone knows about is FHA loans, right? And that stands for Federal Housing Administration. A lot of people think that stands for like first time home.
First home.
Whatever. Yeah, no, it's not that. But a lot of first-time home buyers do use FHA loans. But yeah, let's kind of dive into that because you do need a 580 minimum, right? You can't have lower than a 580, but you would just have to put more money down.
Right. Mm-hmm. So I feel like FHA loan usually it's not just for first-time home buyers. So let's say you've been you had a previous home and you've been staying in the home for 2 or 3 years. Again, you might be qualified to get an FHA loan again. But most first-time home buyers will use FHA because it requires less down payment and also accepts like the lowest credit score, which is like 580. What most people don't know, if you have less than a 580, you might be qualified for an FHA loan, but you will be required to put more down, up to 10% of the purchase price of the home.
Which is a lot of money.
Yeah,
a lot of money.
Because if you have a 580 or more, you can put down, 3%?
Right.
3.5, yeah.
FHA is the most flexible, and I think that's why a lot of first-time home buyers are kind of geared towards it.
Yep.
Your debt to income can be a little bit higher. Your credit score can be a little bit lower. In terms of the assets, they're not like really hounding you to show like, let me see your cash to close right now. So I think a lot of people who are first-time homeowners typically go that route just because of the flexibility. I think it's a really, really great loan for those options.
Yeah, I agree.
So a lot of the things when it comes to first-time home buyer loans, there's actually a big change that just happened within the industry when it comes to FHA loans because it's a government-backed loan, right? So whenever you're putting less than 20% on our home, there's something called a private mortgage insurance, which insures you you got to pay to play. So they have it in there to make sure that you're going to pay this loan, but it also ensures them that they're going to get their money back. And you pay that money over the term of the loan. So what just happened is that rate, the annual rate was 1.75% of the loan amount that you were getting. So what the Biden administration and the Housing and Urban Development just did, they put a plan where they've lowered that rate down to 0.85% up to 0.55%. And that usually means that your mortgage is actually going to be a little bit lower than what it would have been 2 days ago.
Yeah, let's break that down even further, right? When you pay your mortgage every month, it is composed of several different parts. The first thing is your principal, which is what you're paying back towards your loan. The interest, which is, the price you pay for taking out that much money from somewhere else. Your taxes and your insurance. Part of that mortgage insurance is also put into your monthly mortgage payments. So with FHA, it's a mandatory mortgage insurance over the lifespan of that loan. But now what they're charging you guys on a monthly basis is what kind of has been decreased, which of course you will see in the decrease on your monthly mortgage. So I think that's good because some people steer away. I will be honest, like I was the person steering away from FHA because with mortgage insurance for FHA, it is the full 30 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Versus other loans, it's not necessarily like that. So I'm like, if we can save you some money, so that decrease really makes FHA even more of a affordable.
Right. And I love what the Vice President Kamala Harris said. She was like, home ownership
Hey,
should be right. Hey, girl. Why I say it like I'm a part of I love how she said like home ownership should be attainable for everyone.
Yeah.
So they're kind of helping to make that happen, and that's something you have to think about when you're looking at different loans. What terms work best for you? You have to look at long term. If you have a 30-year mortgage, look at those terms over the span of your mortgage life cycle. And something else I want to mention too is someone can get approved. All the loans we're mentioning, you can get approved for all of those loans, and just kind of choose which one works best for you.
Yeah. And also with FHA, don't forget that it doesn't have to be a single resident. You can also use FHA for multi-units. So from a single to your, I think it's up to a quadplex. The only thing is you have to live in one of those units. But you can still, if you're looking to invest, you can purchase a multi-unit property, stay in one of the units, and rent out the others.
That is house hacking. Everybody in Chicago knows I love house hacking. We have a lot of that. We don't really get that like luxury here in Atlanta because duplexes, triplexes, and things like that are not as common. But yes, one of the best ways. So let's like recap a little bit and make sure they know the requirements for what FHA requires.
Yeah, so with the FHA, first thing, credit score, you have to have less than, you have to have at least 580 credit score, right? Your debt to income ratio is going to range in the 40s and 50%. Also, there are limits to your FHA and the loan amount that you can. I think it's like $595 for FHA in Georgia. And also, it's a back on, it requires 3.5 down payment. And yeah, you can get a single family or you can get
duplex, triplex,
condo,
whatever you want.
Well, condos in Atlanta, they don't really accept FHA.
Not all of them.
Not all of them, but majority, 95%.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie. Like if I have a client who wants a condo, I hope they can go conventional.
Conventional is the safest route.
A lot easier. The other thing is just so that y'all are like really, really making sure y'all are aware the loan limits for FHA are going to vary. And I didn't realize how much they varied until I looked at like the FHA loan limits in Chicago and I looked at it here, and it's different for every county. So it's not even just the state. Like what you can do in Fulton County with your FHA may be different than what you can do in Cherokee County. So make sure you look at your loan limit for your county.
Absolutely.
But the main thing that you need to think about when it comes to FHA, that private mortgage insurance did decrease, so it makes it a little bit more affordable now. To if you were shopping at the top of your budget and you're like, oh, this mortgage is just way too much. Now you can afford what you want at the top of your budget for a little bit less.
And FHA interest rates tend to be a little bit lower, like a conventional or something. So definitely a good first time home buyer flexible loan type.
And second time.
Yep. And before we leave the topic of FHA, I also wanted to bring up really quickly the different restrictions. Like once you go under contract on a home, different loan programs have different restrictions in terms of like when you get your inspection back, the things that they want fixed. So that's something
and
to
with
keep
like
in
appraisals, like in an FHA contingency, like you hear us saying like people pay over appraisals, but FHA has that stipulation where if the home doesn't appraise, you are not obligated to pay that amount. So that's a plus with using.
I'm actually going through that right now with the repairs. It's like they're very strict with certain things. Like there was a gas leak in the house, and to be honest, we had the gas company go out, a plumber go out. They need something in writing. The gas company is like, no, it needs to be a court case for us to give you documentation. There's no gas leak, and we're still going through that. So it gets a little tricky. This is why most of the time when sellers are like, they kind of like worry of FHA offers is because of that, because there's a lot of hassle to prove and to make sure that the house, those repairs are fixed the way that they want it fixed on documentation and in real life.
You can't close until those repairs are fixed
and certified. And I'm glad you actually brought that up because I think we did just do a good job about the pros, but there are a few cons that I think are important. And I think for me, it's the FHA inspection. There's a very specific list of inspections, list of criteria, things that have to be done. One thing that always gets me at FHA is the banister. If you're going down a flight of stairs, there's no banister. FHA is going to be like,
yes, I feel like that's the only thing they look for when they go in there. Like, please add a rail to this stairwell.
And everything has to comply with that. So to Nika's point, when sellers are like, I don't really want an FHA loan, a lot of the times it's because it is certain stipulations that, if the house is not up to par, if it's not one of those newer builds or something that's been well kept over the years, that is going to result in the sellers having to potentially pay for something additional. That's not because of your buyer, but because of rules and guidelines set forth by FHA. So I think it is a little bit more strict in that regard. But I think it is to make sure you're getting a quality home and that certain repairs are there.
Yeah, it's a con, but it protects the buyer.
Right.
FHA protects the buyer the most.
Absolutely.
Right.
And I know I always bring this up because it was just the craziest thing when I had that deal the drawer, there was no handle on the drawer, and FHA would not close until the handle was put on. Y'all, this house was literally like an hour away, maybe like an hour and a half. And the inspector came to the house and I went. That's why I said I'd be pulling up to the house, and it wasn't done. And my client was like, I'll just pay for somebody to do it. No, FHA won't allow that. Like, the seller has to do it. Yeah, I was like, I'll just bring my toolbox and do it myself and snap the photo. But no, it doesn't work like that. So, so that's all about FHA. And then the next really common loan type is conventional. I'm sure you guys have
sellers love conventional.
Yeah, I do too.
Conventional girl.
I'm a seller then. I love conventional loans.
So conventional has confirming and non-conforming loans when it comes to conventional. And confirming means that loan has guidelines, right? When it comes to credit score, assets, income. And then non-conforming is for more if you're trying to purchase a more expensive home. So we have the jumbo loans, the bank statement loans that falls under conventional. So I wanted you guys to know that.
Good
Thank you,
breakdown,
Neika. And with conventional loans, you can put down a little less money than an FHA loan. You only have to put 3% down.
3 to
minimum.
5.
3 to 5.
That 3% is
Yeah.
that home ready program through the conventional thing. And the thing about the home ready program, it's very slight, but you do have to take that little course.
Yeah.
I think it take you like 30 minutes, but that first time home ready conventional is 3% down, but standard conventional sometimes can be 5%.
That credit score.
Home ready is down payment assistance. What's home ready?
It's not. It's honestly like a first time home buyer like thing. That's what I did for my house. I did a 3% home ready loan. I don't really understand the exact parameters of why it's called home ready because I mean all the houses be ready when you move. But it's just it's like a course requirement that goes along with it. I think it's more so like making sure you're home ready. Like,
Right.
you get those like extra like courses and like classes you have to take.
So preparing. Okay, basically, I get
A
it.
lot of down payment assistance programs do that too. You
Yeah,
have
they
to
call it
take that
home ready.
course.
I'm like, is that the home ready? They call it
Well,
home
I
ready.
ain't getting no down payment system, but if you know you owe me some money, send it on back.
Right. And with those, like to have that type of percentage down payment, your credit score do need to be in the 700s, and you need to have a good credit score because that's a more risk for them to lend you money, a conventional loan at that down payment.
Minimum for conventional is typically 660. But I can tell people like
640,
620,
620,
80. Like
The higher the better.
The higher the better, because I think it still makes it hard. Like when people, when your lender goes to underwrite your file to figure out if you're going to be FHA or conventional, like there's a system that they can push you through. You want to be able to go through that automated system and get a pre-approval. When they have to go in there manually to try to get it conventional, it's a lot of extra. Exactly.
I don't like to force anything.
Yeah,
like,
you don't want to
your
force
ponytail. You're like nothing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Don't force it.
You're forcing it.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't like to force it. Look, I don't like to force it. So I think I like to say if you're gonna go conventional, like 680. So it's kind of make it better.
But they can the minimum score for conventional is 620.
My lender won't do it for 640.
Really, it's 620 like standard.
Guidelines.
Yeah,
standard.
guidelines wise. But I guess per lender it may differ. It may differ.
Depending on your debt to income ratio.
Yeah,
Right.
So-
That's a big factor too. So you need at least let's say 640, but
keep in the
give
sweet
or
spot.
take, you know what your score is, I hope. So that, like you said, make sure that your DTI is, the limits are okay.
You got to keep it P at 43.
Keep it P at 43.
And that's why most people go towards FHA because conventional, their requirements are just a little bit stricter. Like you need to keep it P at 43. FHA, you can go up to 55 sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's where it's like the flexibility comes in.
I've had a client before where she was approved for both conventional and FHA, but she was looking for a condo that could only go conventional. And her DTI was like right at the max. So what the lender did, he looked at her like car payments and said she had like maybe 13 months left of her car payments, and he told her to pay it down to just 10 so we can kind of get your DTI where it needs to be.
Yeah.
So the lender can be flexible, and they can kind of tell you what you need to do to go with which loan. It really just depends. You have to have a good lender who can communicate that with
creative.
you. Yeah.
Creative financing.
Solutions based.
Yep.
One thing I think I love about the conventional loan that's like opposite of the FHA is like the lack of restrictions kind of there.
Yes.
Like there's a lot more flexibility. So when you see, like you said, condos that are like, oh, not FHA accepted. It's because there might be certain things that the condo or like the HOA can't keep up with that go within FHA guidelines. But conventional kind of just says, okay, you have a strong credit profile, your assets are good, go make lights with the things that you've done in your life. And I like that. Like, you know, I like to do what I want to do.
Right. Yeah. And it has to do with the HOA budget. So FHA, like that budget needs to be, they need a certain document. They need certain certifications and all that stuff because it's a little risky for them, right? It's government-backed loan. So conventional, where it's just like, the budget, it's they go around it. You know,
they buy at your own risk.
Buy at your own risk, right.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, that was pretty much all about conventional. Did anybody have anything else they wanted to mention about it?
No, I think Nika briefly touched on the one thing about the non-conforming part of it because conventional loans do have limits as well, but then you can get that jumbo loan, which still falls under the conventional loan. It just allows you to exceed what that minimum or that maximum requirement is to get your, $1 million estates and so forth.
Right.
Estate, I love that.
Yeah, we love estate.
Yeah. So then the next type of loan that's super popular is VA loans.
Shout out to the veterans.
Yeah. So the VA loans are just for the veterans. I'm sorry if you wasn't in the military. This is not for you.
And your spouse
as well.
And your spouse.
Yeah. This is for people who serve the country.
Yeah. I have a soft spot in my heart. I'm actually a VA loan specialist. So if you are watching
I thought you
this,
want to say a veteran. I'm like, what?
Look, I'm just teaching y'all something about me every day. I am not a veteran, but I am a VA loan specialist. My best friend who just closed on her house as well is military. So I have the certification to do VA loans, and I like them because I feel like they have that stigma of FHA sometimes when people see VA and are like, no, it's going to be too strict.
Right.
But I think VA is actually really, really cool. Like, first and foremost, if you are a veteran or the spouse of a veteran, it's 0% down, so there's absolutely no down payment. Of course, you can pay to lower your mortgage, but it's not a requirement. There's also no mortgage insurance.
Oh my God, yes, that's the key.
You don't have to pay that mortgage insurance. Now, there is something called a VA funding fee. It's a lot less than the mortgage insurance. You can either pay it up front or, roll it into your loan, which most of my clients do. The funding fee is so small, it's not really substantial. There's really technically no credit requirement for VA. They kind of weigh in all those different factors. So if you are deficient in the credit area, but your assets are good, your employment history is good, they can look at a 590 and stuff and not have so many issues with running it and getting you a pre-approval for it. I just love the VA. I love my veterans.
It's great.
And I think it's really, really good. I think the other two really important things to remember if you have a VA loan or you are military looking to purchase a home, and you need two very important documents.
I was just about to say, those documents.
They will, because this is the thing. They want to make sure you ain't fake military.
Right.
They have specific guidelines like the number of days of active service, active military duty you've been. So make sure you meet those requirements. But when it comes to your paperwork, you have to have your COE, which is your certificate of eligibility. It's really going to just show, what your VA status is so that they can confirm that you are military or your spouse is military. The other thing is your DD 214. You need that. That's basically proof of discharge, right? Showing that, okay, I'm not active duty anymore, but I was, actively discharged, in good graces or however that works. And you need those two things to really close and get your VA loan. So I think it's awesome.
It is. And
it's no down payment for me.
It's that no mortgage insurance, no down payment. It's no
it's everything.
My clients, I will be very honest, my clients who are military and who have, a lot of my military clients have 100% disability. So when you're 100% disability, the property tax break that you get is so substantial. So my clients are paying almost no property tax, no mortgage insurance, no down payment.
Living a good life.
Half million dollar homes paying what I'm paying in my little townhouse, and I'm like,
they deserve it. They fought for it. They deserve it.
I think that's the biggest point. The reason they get so many benefits is because they served our country.
You risked your life for us. So it's the least we could do.
Give you a house.
Give you a little house.
And then imagine negotiating closing costs for them on top of that.
My VA client who closes in March, I think she will come out of pocket in total maybe $2,600.
Ooh, girl.
Between
I love to be you.
The new construction, incentive she got from that, the sellers, the zero down, and then they even give lender credits. Like my VA lenders, they give lender credits. They also will pay for your appraisal. They got some secret sauce, but she's coming out of pocket on new construction, maybe about $2,600.
So my only question, because I'm curious to know,
Ashley, you want to go to the military?
is it too late?
You can enlist Ashley. If you would like to enlist Ashley, we will help you to go to war.
How many years I gotta be
You
here?
gotta die about it. No, seriously. I'm gonna tell you how many days and stuff you need to be in there to get your stuff.
That should have been in jail IROTC or something.
No, I say this all the time. I kind of regret not just exploring what the military could have done. Because my friends who went, though, they paid for them to go to college. And
I went to ROTC camp in high school. My mama came pick me up. I said, girl, I will never go to the army because these people killed me over this week right here. They want to waking me up going crazy like, y'all better stop playing. Y'all
know Tiesha need her sleep, child.
Yeah.
They want to feed me. I cannot come.
Oh, no. They deserve, like, seriously, they deserve
Shout out
it.
to them.
Nah, they need their flowers and they deserve it. So, military, and that's all branches of the military, you are, potentially can qualify for a VA loan. So,
And get a VA
loan.
And something I wanted to mention, too, because when you brought up the documents, and we've mentioned this before in other episodes, if you know you have to, like, be in a home by a certain time or be out of your lease, like, don't wait till the last minute because it can take some time.
Paperwork in order.
Yeah, to get those documents.
And I think the VA don't like to answer
Wait. I forgot, since we do got to tell y'all the cons too. One thing about the VA is, like, if you're not hurt, if it's not a life or death situation,
they don't pick up that phone.
They're going to move at their own
pace.
speed.
Yes.
And a lot of my clients, like, you need that, like, proof of, like, your disability when you're trying to get that property tax break, and you have to get that paperwork from the VA. Like, if you don't get that, like, if you know you're wanting to buy a home and you need something from the VA, please reach out to them beforehand and get that. You will be waiting and waiting. I've had clients like, I'm still waiting on my DD-214 from 60 days ago. Like, you knew you were getting out. Like, you should have had this already set up. So do your part. With getting those incentives by working with the VA early on to get your paperwork, because they will deny.
And then what's funny with the VA is, like, there are other organizations. Like, I have found a home where the seller was just giving mad incentives, and the home can only be bought by VA.
Yep. Oh yeah,
yeah, a lot of homes like that, and I was like, wow.
Or they get the first option.
The first option.
VA is like Chicago, like they stick together.
Yeah. But VA, they don't get a VA offering like the first 15, 90 days or something. Then it's like all the other people can come in. But I see this home.
Yeah, so it's a perk.
No, and I think that's a tip for you realtors. If you have a client and their VA, I think that's something good to explicitly state, because I ain't gonna lie. Last year I won a couple offers off the strength of the military connection.
Right.
Military families especially, you have a sensitive and soft spot in your heart for other people who've gone through that. Y'all are moving all the time and things like that. So VA, like I said, they like Chicago, baby. They look out for their own.
I love that. And this is, we forgot to mention too, but this is backtracking to FHAs, that they have that 90-day rule, but we can talk about that.
Oh, like the flipping rule.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, maybe get some, subscribe to the other content to get those real details.
Yes. So we have one more loan that's pretty popular. It's not as popular like in Metro Atlanta where we live. It's more so popular if you're looking to purchase a home in a, what's the
rural
word?
area.
Rural area.
It's slept on.
It's very slept on.
I love me some USDA, because my clients that go, well, USDA, of course, is the United States Department of Agriculture, and my clients who use USDA, they be like in their bag with the houses, because people don't want to use USDA because you can only go in those rural areas, which is going to be 40 minutes, 45 minutes, maybe an hour plus outside.
But don't you think rural scares people?
Yeah.
They hear rural and think you mean like,
they think you mean, but it's not that rural. It's like they got their
no Walmart.
It's a smaller town.
I think of another word for it.
But there are like places that we have clients that actively purchase all the time, and I'm like, baby, this is rural.
Yeah.
Like, did you not just see that cow? This is the rural.
Not the cow.
Septic tank.
I be in McDonough, cows and septic tanks, baby. We're in the rural part of Georgia.
Whenever you get to an area where it's like just septic tank,
it's just grass.
Even like,
it's a lot of land.
Yeah,
I say it's a lot of land in
like
rural
you
areas.
said,
Every time you secure a home with USDA, they got so many like acres. Like my client, she bought a house at like $299, new construction.
What area?
It's in Jackson, Georgia, which is like 40
rural.
minutes away. It's like 40 minutes away. It's right outside McDonough, like right there by that. It's
McDonough
like,
is rural.
But it's not that far. For her to get almost 2 acres under $299, new construction,
that's
4
crazy.
bedrooms.
Wait.
It's a nice house.
You said 40 minutes?
It's 40 minutes. And when where she's at, she's like right from downtown Jackson, where they have literally everything that you got in your area.
It takes
all
40
the
minutes to get to the airport.
The
where's that job? Where's she work at?
She works from home.
Oh, she works from home.
Yeah, so she don't
makes
go to the
sense.
city. But her family is mostly in like McDonough, Locust Grove.
Oh,
so that's her
it
area.
Makes sense.
It makes sense. Yeah.
Like you said, though, it can be in areas that we like frequently go to. Like Well, maybe not like Douglasville.
They're just driving over an hour everywhere I go anyway.
I drove an hour to get to Buckhead today to film this episode.
Anyway,
This is an hour.
They just think it's the country. They just think it's the country.
And I'm a country girl, so I love it for them. I love acres. My family, we got land. Like I love all of that type of stuff. I don't like the city.
You don't want to see your
but
neighbors.
I get the value of the city. I don't
Yeah.
have neighbors.
Hey, neighbor.
I want to be washing the dishes. Like,
I don't have neighbors. I guess I live in a rural area in South Carolina. I don't have neighbors, but I love the land and aspect and what you can get for it. And it's like it's for those people that don't have a lot of income as well. Mm-hmm. You can qualify off of very low income versus the other loan types because that's the purpose of the loan is to help low income families. Mm-hmm. Like that's their target. They want to help low income families obtain home ownership. So it's perfect for you if you don't make that much. You kind of make a little bit less than the average, I guess, Atlanta income. That's for you. Right. And then they don't have any down payment as well. It's 0% down payment and no PMI, just like VA. Of course, they have that percentage, it's like 1% that you have to pay for something else, but it's no PMI and no down payment. So why not?
That's great.
It's if you don't care about the location, listen.
If you don't care about, I mean, it's like areas like Temple. It's really not that bad, y'all.
Now I'm not gonna lie, Temple is cool.
Temple,
like I got
Villa Rica, like this place is not that far.
Villa Rica is
like right there. Y'all are sleeping
Imagine I
on what's
lived in Villa
available.
Rica. Would y'all come see me?
Yeah, it's right across. It's right on the other side of Douglasville. Y'all need to stop acting like y'all don't be driving
I'm
to
not
Villa
gonna
Rica to
lie,
show y'all
know,
claims.
I don't. I really don't.
I do. I
don't like driving.
Over.
When you used to live in Buckhead, I did not like driving to Buckhead. So it's like driving to Villa Rica is a little crazy.
If I'm gonna get me a good deal, no down payment, I got all this land, I'm gonna do it.
But you gonna spend that. If I drive to Villa Rica to your house, I'm staying there for the night. I'm
It's
not
that
for
far.
sure bringing
Y'all
my
are
spending the night bag.
Yeah.
It's not that
But no,
far.
I do like
But it's a
the
great option.
idea of the USDA loan. I've never used it just because of like the location restrictions, but I think that's what made me interested in it when I first read the description of it and it's like rural areas. I'm like, I don't have no clients that want to be in rural areas, but when you break down what that actually entails,
They might change your mind.
no, I had clients who were shopping those areas. Like you said, Villa Rica. Villa Rica is like a really hot market for new constructions right now.
Right.
So many people want to move to Villa Rica because the price point is still really, really good and you can get a great house. You can qualify for a 0% down USDA loan buying one of those. So I think I think it's the most slept on loan.
Yes,
It's slept on. It's slept on for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're not if you're not listening to Real Talk Atlanta, you don't know your options.
You paying 3% down in Villa Rica.
Right. Okay. And you can get USDA. Let me tell you. Let me hook you up with my connect at USDA. But also
You got to connect at USDA.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we close directly through them, but they are slow.
Yeah.
You just like VA, like they are slow. A lot of people don't like to accept their loan types as well because like USDA takes their time.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be 30 to 45 days. They're gonna take that time. They're gonna be like, yeah, we ain't got it. We'll get it to you when we can. Oh,
Period. All right.
my bad. And then you can also buy land and build on it as well with USDA. Like you can go get the land and build your house and they fund the whole thing.
I might send a newsletter this week about you.
Because you gotta remember, we're in Georgia. Like Atlanta is such a small part of Georgia.
Atlanta is literally this
like this
big. Like
yeah.
if you go 2 blocks off the wrong street, you're in Dunwoody, you're in Smyrna, you're in not Atlanta no more. Atlanta is not even big.
It's not.
Smyrna is not Atlanta.
It's not. Atlanta is almost not Atlanta. Like,
So if you're flexible with like where you want to live as far as location, then that is a great option.
It's a great option.
yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
Don't miss out. Because you want to act like you live in a high rise.
Because you don't want to live in the
like
rural.
you.
You want to live in the rural
You
area.
want to smoke
Hey,
every
you
now
don't want
and
to see
then.
cows and horses. Okay, well, that was really good. I'm glad we really got to sit down and talk about the different loan types. And like I said, I want you guys to comment which one you think would be best for you. And be sure to tune into that other episode that we have that talks about how to get approved after you figure out which loan you want. So, yeah, that was
Wait,
really
and to your point, you can get approved for all of what you apply for, that you qualify for, and then determine based off of that too.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. Like the more prepared you are, you have more options. You know what I mean? It's great. I love it. Yes. So now into my favorite part of the show, my favorite segment. Oh, y'all dancing? I didn't even say what it was yet.
You already know it is.
Yeah, you should know. Or if this is your first time tuning in, you may not know. But we have this segment on our show called The Question of the Day, where we ask questions from our audience. You can submit your questions on Instagram at Real Talk Atlanta or send us an email at realtalkatlpod @gmail.com.
That's a mouthful.
So, yeah, right. So one of our questions today, it came from one of our followers on Instagram, and he wanted to know if someone can choose like a perfect closing gift for one of us, if we were a buyer, what would we want?
Ooh. Fill my fridge.
Oh,
I
want
love
my
that.
fridge
It's
full.
telling the secret.
Listen,
People
do
telling
that.
secrets.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great
Fill
though.
my fridge. Yeah, that's a
I
good one.
Yeah, I
never
want
thought of
that.
that, but maybe I want that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me $100 on the link card, and I'm good to go. Sam's Club.
Yeah.
What I want?
Need a Trader Joe's.
I think for real. No,
Okay.
okay. Honestly, I do like very like not sentimental necessarily because y'all know I'm from Chicago. I don't really like all that. But I do like stuff to like commemorate the moment. Like I like a picture frame, like a welcome home where I can really take a picture from us at closing. Like Tiffany Halls, okay, so Halls Law Firm, they give you like this keychain when you close.
Yes,
And it's
that's
like,
good.
yeah, and it's the
On the
picture of like
Polaroid.
you
Yeah.
from the day you close. And I like stuff like that so I can really be like, dang, I really bought a house. Like to commemorate the moment.
So like
I
a frame closing day pic.
yeah, I like something that just can really just bring us back to this moment and really be like, okay, dang.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sentimental.
It's
And
sentimental.
you can hold on to that
I like
for
a
a while.
sentimental gift, not a
Oh, that
sentimental
was
person.
nice.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
greedy. I said full fridge.
And I was right there.
No, full
I
fridge
love
is a
it.
good
I'll
one.
take both.
I know an agent who does that. What do I want? I want something that I can use, like something that's gonna like make use in my house. I don't know, maybe like my clients love when I get them these like fancy towels. They be calling me like, where you get these
The
towels
microfiber
from?
ones?
Yeah.
So Taisha gave me you gave that to me at my housewarming. It was in my little basket. I was like,
no, not those like towels for your body.
oh,
Those
well,
cleaning towels.
those cleaning towels too. I was like, okay, this is I didn't know who it was
Useful
from.
stuff.
But I'm like, this had to be one of my realtor friends. I'm like, this basket is
Lit.
I love that.
Yeah, I like to give stuff that I know that you're gonna use in the house, and that's what I would like to. Like, I don't care if it's like wine glasses, stuff for the kitchen, fill my fridge, or something that's gonna like take a load off of me when I move in. Because when you move
Service of
in, it's
action
like, dang, I gotta go buy
stressful.
this, I gotta go buy that. So anything that's like useful to the new house, I would be appreciative
like
of
a
it.
Nerf gun and
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm not picky.
Yeah, outside.
Yo, River is funny.
I kind of want like a little bit of everything that
You
y'all
want designer.
said.
No,
I was gonna say
She wants
I
some
want
designer.
something
She
nice. Like,
bougie.
yeah, I want you to walk in with the Louis bag. I'm like, oh,
She wants the Tiffany and Co. champagne glasses.
I would definitely like something nice, and I mean, it could be any. But just because it's nice doesn't mean I'm gonna like it. You know, like don't get me
If
something
it's
I'm not
designer,
gonna
she
use.
gonna like it.
Yeah, she's an aesthetics
know,
girl, so she need a little
If
bit
it's
from
cute,
each
she
realm.
gonna use it.
Yeah. It honestly just depends on the person. Like, you know what your clients like, or you should.
Yeah,
like,
pay
yeah.
attention. If you're a realtor, I always pay attention to my clients. Like, I'll be in there like, oh, girl, like, look at this kitchen. Like, what can you picture yourself doing?
Yeah.
And if you like, I picture myself cooking this. All right, I'm getting you a custom cutting board.
Yeah, I be
I'm
crying.
like, yeah, like,
You
I want
gotta
to know.
cry.
Oh, you got a dog? Put some stuff in there for the dog.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I did
like,
for my friend close, and she I have a love-hate relationship for her dog. I felt bad. I'm like, let me get Bella something too. Like, just it just be important.
and if you got kids, like, I would like, you know, get you a little
Yeah.
like a gift or something. I don't know. You just have to like pay attention to your client.
I did that for one of my clients because he brought his kids to closing and they were really young, and I knew they would be bored sitting at the table, so I made sure to get them some little toys.
I always get them little baby mimosas too. Like the kids come to the close, and I want them to feel very involved.
that's so cute.
I love
It just be
that.
orange juice,
sparkling.
little
I was happy
grenadine.
until they like bent my my soul time. I was like, yeah, where's the toys? So, yes, that was good though. I like that question. I got some ideas I'm gonna take from y'all.
No,
Okay, you feeling fridges.
Yeah.
that's still the fridge.
Okay, but I don't know what you like to eat. So I don't know.
Yeah,
No,
well,
you're
you
supposed
bring
to
'em
go.
with
Yeah, you bring them with you.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, nice. No
Yeah.
more shopping. Okay, bet.
But
Yeah, that was great. So thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Real Talk Atlanta, and we will see you guys next Wednesday.
see y'all.
Thank you. Bye.